But for the time being, let's just focus on this match now. Solid and Leaf here. Match number 2. Leaf going ham in the last one. Will take the advantage going into this next one. Game number 2 starts off towards the advantage of Team Solid. Now Doomsday trying to take control here. And Sky going to bounce it back off the backboard. Might try for a shot. Data will disrupt it here. Deck comes in from Sky, takes down Skeeks. And so far it will work out to Solid's advantage here as the Data once again getting it off the backboard. Krazak to defend and will do so very nicely. It'll be up to Skeeks now to try and bounce it off the corner stone here. GMS taking control, bats it over towards the Solid side of the court. Data with a nice defensive. Puts it over towards good contention, going for a shot. Sky to defend and will do so nicely. Puts it back over towards another player's control. Krazak will disrupt it over towards the corner and no one there to defend it. Doomsday will just about be able to get it away. And now it will be ball rolling back over towards the Leaf side and Doomsday will try to set up another shot as it is disrupted once again within the first minute of this matchup.
It does seem like Solid is, oh, the close one indeed. Will Data have another play on this one? Not enough. Solid's picking up the pace in this game, and they're building up a lot of momentum quickly. It's working out in their favor right now because they're able to hold control at this high level of speed. And when they slow it down, Leaf is going to be able to turn it back around. But as long as they can keep this one going and they can get solid, consistent touches on the ball, they're going to have a lot of advantage here working on with offensive pressure. Consequently, though, Leaf is now taking advantage of any small mistake, and they're going to be able to turn it around for a full breakaway opportunity.
Yep, so far 0-0, so a much more even matchup than we saw in the first game here. Leaf not being able to assert their dominance, and in this case it will be Solid trying to take control. Krazak with a disruption, GMS going to try follow it up, but Data gets it right back out the way, and now back over towards the control of Sky, who gets it towards the center line. Seek stops the ball's path, and now all 3 players up towards the side of the pitch will now try and set themselves up for a backboard shot. Doomsday gets it out of the way, over towards the Data pass. Krazak disrupts. It's going almost in, but Seeks is there to defend it and get it out of the way for Sky. Now to try and take control of his own right and will get it over, but not off the backboard, over towards the other side of the corner. Now both players, him and Krazak, will now have to try and defend against Doomsday and Data, who are getting it straight back up towards the corner, almost centering up. This might be a shot coming out. It goes off the backboard a second time, and a follow-up from Seeks is going to be over towards the left instead. And nothing coming in for Leaf in this case as we are approaching the halfway mark of this matchup. Still 0-0, and nothing coming out for either side.
And Sky missing the play on this one. So the Doomsday Data Seeks combo kind of rolling in, trying to take all 3 attempts while they get good rotations is a great way to keep pressure in the box this way. They're forcing Leaf back on defense. They have to react and they have to focus on the play. Almost getting that one. It's going to be a nice one from Krazak, but not enough here. Sky to the 90, double defense. Will it be enough over the line? No, Data makes the stop. It's Krazak back over in the corner. A great play here, sets up for offense. Now GMS is late to this one. Seeks will force it over the 50. And it looks like this play will be over. Oh, no, not yet here. An interesting clear here coming from Data. Krazak has the play on the line. And another stop here. Doomsday keeps the play a rolling and a going. Team Solid, what defense?
Perfect play from Solid. So many close calls, but they managed to keep control of that ball and keep it from scoring in the favor of Leaf eSports. And Leaf came within inches of managing to take the lead finally in this matchup, but it's not going to happen so far. They will circle back around and try and get it in right here. There's no defensive, which means this might be a good opportunity for GMS, and Sky off the backboard won't find it, and now Data's going to have to try and disrupt Sky with GMS with a very nice shot. Is a little bit too high, and now Doomsday's finally going to be able to get it out of contention in favor of Seeks and Data, and now GMS will disrupt to hit it back off the backboard one more time, and well, Leaf eSports will have another go at this one, and now all the players, well, almost scoring in their own goal. In fact, it will be Sky with a nice shot, and Data can't defend. It's so close.
My God!
He just about gets it out, but a shot comes in from Krazak, who just about scores it. And again, Solid with a nice solid defense that just slips through the gaps. Leaf take the first.
More highlight on that ball in the initial attempt than most of my papers in high school. And then you have Krazak coming in for the finish. A solid 1-0 sets up Leaf eSports for one of the longest contentions we've seen so far in this series. It's just unbelievable, waiting 4 minutes for a goal to come in here. And now Leaf set up, they can play a little bit of defense, but they cannot give up the ground that they have earned so far. Sky keeps the play over into the corner. It's GMS here in for Doomsday. The play keeps to the top of the box. The pressure's still building. They're not giving up this offense. It's exactly what they need to do to hold on to this scoreline.
Krazak trying to set one up. GMS will go for a shot a little bit off angle, and Team Solid 45 seconds on the clock. They need to score 1 goal to take it to overtime, and now Seeks will defend against GMS, gets it back over to Leaf's side. Data will chime on through off the backboard. No one to try and take advantage. Sky will disrupt that path back over to the corner. This time is now Doomsday trying to set one up. It will be Krazak who takes control. Sky going to chime on through. Seek centers it up, trying to go for a shot of his own right, but GMS once again the defensive and the disruption will keep it out the way. Data bounces it, centers it, and Doomsy will have to defend, otherwise it would have been set up perfectly for Leaf, and 15 seconds on the clock. Solid now have to try and put this one in the back of the net, otherwise it's going to be the second match in favor of Leaf eSports. In this case, it looks like it might be the case. 5 seconds on the clock now. They've got to keep it above the ground. Otherwise, it's going to be 1-0 and a second match in favor of Leaf, and it will be 2-0 in the series for Leaf eSports after a very, very close match too.
The buildup in the first 30 seconds of the game and the buildup in the last 30 seconds of the game were where we really saw Team Solid finally building up and forcing Leaf eSports back on defense, keeping the pressure, building a lot of good challenges to where they had possession of the ball and they could make a controlled play. But the middle of the game, the majority of the possession here held on by Leaf eSports. The pace built up. You saw Doomsy Data Seeks trying to get a pace going to where they could, force Leaf eSports out into bad positions where they weren't comfortable. But you saw Krazak, Sky, and GMS just be able to turn that one back around. The 1-goal scoreline, it speaks volumes to how close this game was. Krazak took 4 shots on goal, 6 total for Leaf eSports, and a 4 play here from Team Solid to try to get something in at all. But all in all, it felt like the mid game was controlled by Leaf, but Team Solid controlled the early game and started building up in the late game. And I think that that's the kind of team that you want sometimes, but only if you're able to build up an early lead with that early momentum. If you don't get anything out of that, then you're forced on your heels for the majority of the match, and it sets you up for a little bit of a lost situation. We're going to see if they're able to adjust here in game 3. They've got a chance to come back into this series, so it's a full round of 4. If you folks don't know how these go and you just joined us, they're going to play all 4 matches, so there is a potential for a tie, and this is a point system built out for the league.